What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. 1/3 of the New Day. You're not going to say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
I'm not one of the Mysterios. I'm Jem.
This is our Raw and SmackDown in review. It comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/popcultures, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to watch the show as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures where you can watch us record this show live. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this little wrestling podcast. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching us on the YouTubes, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures or our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. How are you, Jem?
I am exhausted, but I am good, man. How are you?
I'm in a similar space, man. I'm just similar space. You know, it's the things you do, in life, man. It just happens, and what you can do about it. But so Jem was away yesterday for our recording of Clash of Champions. It's the new job. It's thrown a spanner in all the scheduling. But Jem, did you end up watching at least the highlights of Clash?
I watched a little bit, but I've just been so exhausted that the minute I start watching anything, I'm out like a light. So I guess the most highlights I got really was watching Raw.
Not too bad. I was going to get your impressions, but sounds like you don't really have all that many. That was easy.
No, not yet.
No worries at all. In that case, let's just kick it off right out of the gate. Jem, where do you want to start?
Let me just bring up my notes. I should have done that before. I don't know.
Well, look, you know what? Let's get it right off the bat here. Now, I've named this episode "Some Good Soap Opera Shit" because right now, WWE are hitting some beautiful soap opera shit.
Oh, God.
Now, this started again last week, so we didn't do a show last week. Once again, with changing schedules, last week it was brought back up, Jem. What we consider probably the most fucking soap opera storyline WWE have ever handled. Who is the father of Dominic Mysterio? It has been brought back. Seth Rollins is bringing it on the table. How did you feel seeing that last week?
Yeah, I was just like, oh God, we're going here again. But at the same time, like, part of me was like, ooh, we're going here again. Like, it was a little bit exciting. Obviously, he did throw the curveball and say, like, maybe you're not the father of Aaliyah. And I'm like, oh, we've been through, no, it's fine. Like, just shut up. We've done this. But at the same time, like, it is just soap opera 101, especially with, like, everything going on that we see this week with, like, you know, Aaliyah, and apparently Murphy sat next to her or something like that.
Yeah, so last week, Aaliyah was a bit upset. So Dominic and Ray and good old Ange were out in the stage talking to Seth during the presentation of the paternity results. It was brought up.
Yeah. Oh, because she was called naive.
It was right. She was brought up. She said, Rey Mysterio made the comment that she was naive and doesn't understand the world of wrestling or the world of the WWE, and that she is naive to it. She cracks the shits, leaves, takes a seat out the back, has a bit of a teary. Understandable.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy comes up, sits down, apologizes for the things that he has done, the things that Seth Rollins has done. And, what looked like a little slight gesture from her before You know, where after the steel cage match at was it Payback? No, whenever it was it Payback? No, it was just a random Raw. Yeah, when he gave him a bit of a. You know, here I was thinking that this is likely to be just demonstrating that the other side has compassion. It's just about them, you know, showing that they are better than Seth Rollins because they can show that emotion.
Aaliyah wants the thunder down.
That's right. She wants a little bit of Aussie in her. That's kind of where it's going.
She wants a bunning sausage.
That's right. She wants to Murph her buddy. You know, she
wants a buddy friend.
Yeah. And then, you know, for her, she was hoping that he'd be the best kept secret, but it looks to not go that way, you know, where Seth comes out and delivers the fact that they've been sending each other's big old DMs, you know, and, that one got ya?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was great. It was one of those laughs where you can't make any noise. And I'm tearing up. Holy shit,
yeah, so they'd be like, the messages were harmless. It was quite nice. It was just like, hey man, just, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, oh, well, you know, that's cool. Maybe we just catch up sometime at birthday. She didn't rock good, but she did. Yeah, and of course, like, Dominic got all protective brother, which I actually thought, like, this is the thing. I'm going to put this out there. There's a consensus online that it was a little bit gross that Buddy, a 32-year-old woman, is messaging a 19-year-old girl. Now, she's of legal age. She's over 18.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon. But I personally feel it's way more gross and archaic to have Dominic be like, don't you fucking talk to my sister.
Yeah.
That is worse. That is so gross to me. That's how
so they obviously,
like, because, you know, for me personally, like I have a sister. I'm like, I don't know what the hell she wants, because A, she's her own person, and who the fuck am I to dictate who she can and cannot see, or my dad, or my mum? No one has that right but her.
Exactly it. Grown ass adult. And even she says it. She's like, I am 19. I am legally an adult. I can make decisions for myself, because they were on the couch in King's Court, but. Let's not talk about that guy.
Yeah, that's why it's blazed right past it.
Yeah, exactly it. But so obviously the whole thing goes down again. And she's like, Murphy's not like Seth. He's somebody else. Like, he's not like
different.
That. Yeah, he's different.
He's not like other boys. He's different. He loves me.
He's different.
He treats me nice.
So yeah, obviously, like, she storms off again, which is just, you know, what stroppy teenagers do. She's still a teen.
She's 19.
And then, Seth comes up with this whole thing, which obviously Buddy approaches Seth backstage pissed off and, like, holds him by his collar, and Murphy's laughing, and he's like, you did this to yourself, Murphy.
He's like, oi, cockface, and then tries to fucking fight him.
Oi, you dog. You siggy butt brain. But this was interesting to me because it kind of, like, I don't know, like, even though Aaliyah is saying, like, she's not like Seth, I kind of feel like there's cogs working in the background, and maybe this is all a ploy by Seth and Murphy to get to cause a rift.
Ooh, I love how you got another layer of soap opera in there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the best way it can go, because, like, you know, it's just... To me, there's like, nah, it can't just be that. Like, Seth is clearly, like, working something. Like, it has to be a whole work. Like, knowing Seth and how, like, methodical he is, it has to be a whole thing.
Yeah, I think maybe, not, I think it's more of a, if anything, I don't think Buddy's in on it. I think maybe it's Seth turning some cogs and setting up some, you know, putting some checkers in places and stuff like that. And Buddy's just being strung along. I think it's more that than the idea that he and Buddy and Seth are working together to get this outcome. Possibly. I think it's more of a, you know, you're my pawn in this bigger game. And then that in turn will likely cause Buddy to split. Because it's looking like Buddy was going to split anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think maybe this is his last-ditch effort to sort of have control over someone that he knows he won't have control on in the future. It's like that last go to do something.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously, like, Buddy has Seth up by his collar, and then Dominic comes flying in, and this prompts a match later in the night, which Dominic and Murphy have, and Dominic is, you know, it's his favorite thing. He goes for a kendo stick, And that's when Aaliyah pops up and she's like, no, don't do it. He's not like other boys. He's not like other boys. Don't hurt my boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
Yeah, and this causes a distraction, which ends up getting Murphy the win with a little roll-up. But Dominic still goes after him with the kendo stick anyway, and Aaliyah jumps in the way like, stop it! Like, and then Dominic's like, Dad was right, you are naive, and Aaliyah snaps and just slaps Dominic in the face and storms off. And I was like, yeah, you tell him. Like,
Yeah, you bang who you want, Aaliyah. You bang whoever you so choose.
You slap your brother. He deserves it. But, yeah, so this is an interesting sort of, I don't know. It really is. It is really like,
It is good
why we are
soap
here.
opera shit.
It is.
Because it has everything. It has the dastardly villain being like Seth Rollins in the background. It's like, it has a love interest. This Romeo Juliet, will they, won't they sort of thing, or like, we know we shouldn't. Our families fucking hate each other. You know, it's essentially that. Like it is.
It really is
a little bit Romeo and Juliet, and there's like, no, it's the legacy of the pride of the family, and the guy will protect you. He's like, I don't need your protecting. You know,
I have my own legacy. I write my own destiny.
Yeah. Live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Speaking of like soap opera love stories, let's talk about R-Truth, little Jimmy, and his 24/7 championship.
okay.
That whole beach scene. I think the best part about the whole beach scene and them being at the beach and like seeing the ninjas and then seeing a shark. And then he's like, oh no, Tozawa got devoured. It's like the best line ever.
See, like I'm a little mad about 24/7 championship right now.
Go on.
Because it is dying in the ass. It's been dead for a long time. Yet last week when they were at the beach and when Lil Timmy and R-Truth were at the beach, Lil Jimmy, my apologies. Lil Jimmy were at the beach and the belt gets washed away into the ocean. I'm like, perfect, beautiful, it's fucking gone.
Bye.
That's it.
That's
Bye.
So
See ya, belt. You're gone. But no, it fucking comes back, didn't it? Like that, like, because in my head, I was talking about it with Craig, is the idea it gets blown away into the ocean and then it can come back at a later date, but it's gone for like 18 months, and then he just happens to be at the beach again and he finds it, and it's like, it's all like beaten and ruined and wrecked, and then it can become something else.
Handprint on it like Wilson.
Yeah. I know, like, that would be more entertaining to me if it washed off and fucked off for a little while.
Yeah.
But although saying that though, like, you know, the small details of this is like, you know, he gets given a letter from a ninja. He's like, it's in Japanese. I can't read this. Oh wait, there's an English version. And I'm like, that's stupid.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good. That's good understanding from Akira.
It's good dumb.
Yeah, and then it's, you know, subs or dubs. You know, it's a big long discussion for many of the weebs. You know, but and then, you know, he gets all like, no, Akira, and then gets pinned, and then
Tozawa, why'd you have to get devoured?
Yeah, after that I stopped caring about 24/7 again.
Yeah, then like Akira gets the pin, and then it turns out that the ninja is actually Drew Gulak, and then he gets the pin, and then R-Truth gets it back, and that's the end of that. But it leads into a triple threat match later in the night, which R-Truth does retain. Definitely not needed though, but my God, it was funny. And we also had a couple of like promo packages. So there was obviously the Retribution promo package because they've made their debut properly, I guess.
Well, with them being out for an estimated 2 weeks, allegedly they have come in contact with someone who may have COVID.
Of course they have.
They are
running
missing
around destroying the place.
Even though look, the problem was they were wearing masks, but they were fucking bad because the whole mouth area was straight up exposed. You know, like when the law was, you know, you should wear a mask, we didn't realize we had a bunch of Karens in Retribution wearing the wrong masks.
Karen Bution.
Yeah, and they're like Flapjack and fucking TikTok and Bing and Bing Bong or whatever. You know?
Whatever the name is.
Whatever the...
And then there was a really cool one of Bianca Belair, because obviously we know she's a track and field star. And it's her like racing people, and she like gives them a head start,
demonstrating that she's the EST of WWE. Yeah. She's the fastest. She beats everyone. Last week she was the strongest.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so she did like she out-gymmed someone in the gym.
Love it.
Yeah, it was good.
Love it. I love it. These are fun.
Yeah,
I
she's one of the like I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I remember when watching NXT, I didn't get Bianca Belair. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
I found her quite annoying. I guess it's the whole clap thing that kind of fucks me off, but everything else about her is on point, and like she's strong, she's awesome, she kicks a whole bunch of asshole, she's fantastic. I think she's brilliant, and I love that they're giving, like, even though she's been called up for a while now, it's good for them to give her a little bit of a push, because there does seem to be a little bit of a switch up with the women's division right now. So what we're seeing is we have the draft coming up in next week and the week after, which is interesting in and of itself. But then we've come to learn that there has already been some switches. An example being Dana Brooke coming across with Mandy Rose over onto Raw. So they've got more women over here. Like they're starting they're trying to spread it out a little bit, but also try to add some more tag teams in there, because we see them tag up against Lana and Natalya.
Yes, and it looks like they are going to be a tag team, because they do end up taking out that match, which was awesome. And like, you know how like Mandy and Sonya used to do their little thing where like Mandy'd slide back and like put her arms out and Sonnya'd lift her up, but instead of that, like her and Dana did the whole like muscle thing. So same sort of intro, but they were like this,
doing the flex appeal thing.
Yeah, which was really cool.
And we should note Mandy Rose rocking a very Trish Stratus looking set of ring gear.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, they did win that match. And they're like, you know, we don't care. Oh, because Natalya and Lana were like sucking about Shayna and Nia not being able to defend, and they should give up their titles. And Adam Pearce was like, no, but in the spirit of competition, here, have a match. They just a good match, but Mandy and Dana got the win. Mandy got the win with like a running knee and a pin on Lana. And they said backstage in an interview with I think Kayla, they're just like, you know, when we both came across, it was just like, you know, stars aligned, you know, why wouldn't I want to team up with this person? And, you know, we don't care who wins. We're coming for those titles.
Well, and that's the big thing. So, like, I know for yourself, being a big fan of Dana Brooke, like, are you happy to see her in a team setup here?
I think so, because I feel like it'll give her some more screen time. But it also pisses me off, because why did you break up the Iconics if you're just going to keep putting other people together? Like, they work well as a tag team. They've already got that dynamic. Like, you should have just, you know, you should have left it how it was. But no, that's not how it goes. Yeah,
but I understand the reason being here is they need more. They do need more singles women. And that's one of the things, like, I do think that's where they're trying to set Bianca to go up to. Like, she'll head in towards a title shot, a title picture.
Mandy and Dana are perfect on their own. Like, why can't you just have Mandy as a singles competitor and Dana?
I don't think she's there. I think with this switch and with the loss of Sonya Deville, they do have to slightly repackage Mandy. They've got to give her a new character, a new appeal, because her character was so built in Otis recently and built in Sonya before that. So they need to re-identify her here. And sadly, it looks as if they're using that re-identification with another tag partner, which is a bit odd, which is a bit of a bummer, because it's going to be, well, you're, even as you said, with the flex, like she's bringing in the parts of another character. And I guess she can't be like that golden goddess sort of vibe anymore. You know, because God's Greatest Creation, I think it was. Sorry, the goddess was Alexa. Like, she's on the same brand as. Oh no, Alexa's still on SmackDown. But even then, like with the character that presumably Carmella is working, that's based around that same sort of concept, is that very focused on looks and how they appear. It would make sense for her to go somewhere else for this. And you know, with
now that you mention it,
so like Peyton Royce, obviously she had a great part of the Iconics. They've established her as a character within that space, and now that she can shift into that single space and potentially have Billie Kay as like a manager, I guess, or a spokesperson, and then give Peyton that run. Because right now, if you look at the Raw women's roster, who is there to take on Asuka? There isn't a lot of women. There's no women.
Yeah.
Like, hence why Zelina Vega got a run at Clash of Champions. You know what I mean? There is no big competitor. Charlotte's out. Becky's out. You know what I mean? There aren't those big picture women anymore. That means we've got to build some new people up.
That's fair.
And the draft may also do that. We may see some big names make the way. With TakeOver this coming week and the draft the week after, I imagine if we see Io Shirai take an L here, we may see her come up. We may see the likes of Dakota Kai. We may see Tegan Nox. We might see, maybe even Candice LeRae if she takes the L, against Io. Like, the potential to bring up more women right now is awesome. And I do. The biggest problem that they've had, and this is a WWE's fault. This is not the fault of the wrestlers or superstars themselves. They have not made new stars. They have become reliant on the same names, and now that those names are gone or unable to do whatever they need to do, they've not done the rest to build them up.
Yeah, they're basically starting from scratch.
Exactly. So what we're seeing is the beginning of a second wave of attempted big superstar women.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. Well, speaking of women, why don't we just have a chat about that? Because we did watch a women's championship rematch from Clash of Champions.
I really don't know why this had to happen.
Yeah, no automatic rematches, but here we are.
Yeah, all the justification behind it. So automatic rematches make sense, but even then, like, Zelina wasn't slighted in here. She didn't deserve a rematch. The slight happened afterwards, and why would Asuka be like, well, you know what, fuck you, I want you to give you another opportunity. I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, because, Zelina did the whole, like, she did the real dog act. I saw that, bowing to Asuka and then attacking her. But she reckons, she's like, oh, I'm ready for Asuka. She's not ready for me. And all this other shit to Kayla Braxton. And Asuka comes up and she's laughing and she's just like, she's like, you're ready to lose again. And they get into like a little argument. I thought this was cute though. I thought this was funny. It's like they just started screaming at each other in their native tongues. I thought that was hilarious.
That was a good touch.
So, yeah, that was fun. But yeah, they get separated, which leads into the match, which, Zelina just gets her ass handed to her. But good match. Like, Zelina is a good wrestler. Like, she's real good.
Yeah, she like outside of the Rumble, she's not seen too often. But it was nice to have her come and do something else for a little while.
Yeah. But after this, we did have Andrade come out to the ring, like, basically shouting at Zelina. He's just like, you're nothing without me. You're a weakling, like Angel Garza's a weakling. And Zelina walked off like, what?
Well, because that's the thing. So as we discussed in the Clash of Champions review yesterday, Angel Garza is injured. It looks as if I still haven't looked up what his injury is. I might do it now. But he did take a bit of a rough kick by the looks, and it's rocked him pretty hard.
Yeah, so Andrade basically just says, like, I was the glue holding that team together, claims he's the greatest in the WWE, and issues an open challenge, which gets accepted by the Limitless Keith Lee.
Bask in his glory.
Bask in his glory. That was an awesome match. That was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's good to see Andrade sort of standing on his own again. And, like, even though he doesn't have Zelina to be his mouthpiece, he can sort of speak for himself, which is cool.
It's unknown what his injury is by the looks.
Ooh.
Last Ringside News mentioned that he's off to get tested with an MRI. But it looks something to do, or from what we saw, it looked to be his hip or his thigh, somewhere around there, looked to get pretty jacked up.
Yowza, poor dude. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Yowie, wowie.
Yep. So yeah, they threw up the X and everything, so it wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Poor guy.
Yeah. But yeah, so as you said, like, we got to see Andrade stand up and sort of cut a bit of a promo in English, which is always nice. And then Keith Lee comes out and they had a big old match, because that's the thing they mentioned. Ooh. Like, what we saw tonight was a lot of NXT champions. Like both Keith Lee and Andrade were previous NXT men's champions, and there's a match later on that has the same thing. So we know there's high caliber people here, and I personally think we saw it. I thought the Andrade Keith match was great.
Yeah, definitely. Another match that was great though is the gentleman on your T-shirt right there.
I love this shirt because, like, for those that don't know, it's the Alistair Black mash shirt. It looks like a fucking metal shirt, which I also love as well.
I love it.
And he also looks like a fucking serial killer on it or something, which is cool.
The only downside to it all is Alistair Black's completely changed his music and his outfits and stuff like that. So and I hate it.
There looks to be a bit of a reasoning around that. So there seems to be more of a boring litigation reason. So the company that previously had made all the entrance music, with CFOs, with CFO $sign, it looks as if since they had been separated from the WWE, since they've been trying to transition away from their music, therefore them not getting royalties. And that's one of the big reasons that Keith Lee didn't have his music. That's why Buddy got different music. That's why Alistair Black has different music. So Alistair Black, although his song was originally recorded with Incendiary, it was in conjunction with CFOs. So I'd say that's part of the reasoning. So if anyone is having a rebrand in the near future, you're likely going to see them transition to CFO's music.
Interesting.
And it's noticeable because that song fucking rocks. It's my ringtone, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, it's super disappointing. Especially like somebody like Murphy. His theme music was sick before it came over. Like it sucks. But, there was a video of Alistair Black backstage basically talking about how, KO portrays himself to be like everybody's best friend, but he's actually the one person to betray everybody at the first turn and all that sort of stuff, and how, like, Alistair will never forget, like, the betrayals of people, and, I don't think KO's betrayed him, but apparently he feels that way.
They had some beef recently.
Yeah, I couldn't be there because of my family or some shit.
So the idea being that Kevin Owens was involved with the Seth Rollins feud at the time, and as was Alistair Black. However, Alistair holds responsibility towards Kevin Owens for not being there the day I got fucked up on the step. It's essentially saying you should have been there, but you weren't.
Yeah, symbolism of taking off that headscarf and the black eye and the black iris and stuff like that. Damn bloody good match. It was awesome. Clearly, like, Alistair Black's just mad. He's just real mad, and he was just beating into KO, and a few times he was told if he didn't knock it off, he'd get disqualified. And then during one biffo against the ropes, Alistair swung his elbow back too hard to punch Kevin and ended up getting disqualified. Beautiful thing about this, though, is as the referee is ringside disqualifying Alistair Black, as it's all going on and they're starting to announce Kevin Owens as the winner of the match via disqualification, he hits a beautiful stunner on Alistair Black. Right as they say, here is your winner, Kevin Owens. Like, it was just perfectly timed. You can't rehearse that shit. It was just the most perfect moment. It looks like this is going to be one of those long-term feuds, which could be a bit of fun. Yeah,
and the interesting thing here is they are both what would you be considered fighters rather than sort of wrestlers or your high flyers, with Alistair Black and his sort of, striker style, a lot of kicks, a lot of flurries and the punches, and Kevin Owens being a bit of a brawler. There is some cool things to see here, and we're going to see potentially more fights. Now, where that would lead to Raw Underground, which didn't make an appearance today, might I add.
Did not this week.
No. So it's interesting whether we'll see sort of some of that dynamic. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing I noticed about Raw this week was it's a bit more tidy because there wasn't so much cutting back and forth to Underground, which was nice. It felt a bit more consistent.
Yeah, so like I said, I'll argue it to the end until they do it. Like, excuse me, Underground needs to be the last half hour. And they just and then it's the hard cut, and that's the end of Raw. Now we're on Raw Underground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this sprinkling throughout, it's really like, why will they need to be like, from 10 p.m. it's Raw Underground? Like, well, no, it's not. We saw it 15 minutes ago,
Yeah, exactly it. So, yeah, I can agree with that entirely. Yeah.
But I'm just having a quick look what else we got here, because once again it was with it being speaking of there you go. Speaking of the underground, one group that did make their way into underground and show some strength was the Hurt Business. They're out here tonight, not, as you said, not in underground because it wasn't on this week, but instead involved in a 6-man tag match against the likes of Ricochet, was Apollo Crews, and Mustafa Ali.
Yep.
Yeah. Mustafa Ali, first time we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, exactly it. He gets caught coming out of the Hurt Business locker room, and the Hurt Business obviously try to put the Hurt Business on him. But they sort of break it up backstage and they'll like save it for a match later or whatever. MVP goes on to say that Cedric lost to Apollo Crews, I believe. And because of that slip up, he was put into Hurt Business boot camp. And that's why he wasn't there that week. But yeah, it just 6-man tag match. It's, the same thing we've seen every fucking week for the last.
And what's very interesting is the idea that MVP comes out before this match and delivers the promo using that odd analogy that insanity is the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Which I have a feeling that's what they're doing with the Hurt Business. It's the same shit over and over and over and over again. And are they expecting the result that we're going to give a shit? Like the irony in that whole promo was very odd.
Yeah. The best part of this whole thing was Mustafa Ali got the win with a 450. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, it's the same thing we're seeing every week. It's the same rotation of people in that thing. Like, there's no, unlike the Mysterio storyline, there's no building on it. It's just the same shit. We're the Hurt Business. Some guy sat next to me in catering, so I'm going to steal his food and scare the crap out of him. And, it's just intimidation tactics, and it's just
we're the big bullies on campus,
And then again, they had the retribution interruption of the lights turning out and the symbols all over the screens, and just get ready for it's just it's fallen really, really flat.
Yeah, it's I think they've overstayed their welcome with the same group. Like the Hurt Business, as I said, they should be in underground. Like that's where they should. If if they're the Hurt Business, go where the Hurt is. Maybe they get Bubba Kato in there as their big unit. You know what I mean? Like that's what they could do. And I don't know why it wasn't on this week. I presume probably in light of maybe this potential COVID thing, because we know that NXT's apparently had a minor outbreak, as had AEW. So it looks as if it's gone a little bit gnarly over there in Florida. But we'll see how it goes from there. We're tearing through the show tonight, Jem. Tearing through it.
Yeah, like I said, when it's nice and tidy like it is for this episode, it just makes it so seamless and just really relaxing.
Yeah, because is it all the stories are nicely brought together, and there's none of this fluff. It's just that we know what our 3 stories are. Boom, boom, boom. We'll give a little bit of 24/7 in there, a little bit of this over there, and it's propelling everything forward.
Yeah, it really is. It's nice and tidy, and it's great. It's a great episode to come out of a pay-per-view too, because it really is that there tends to be a lull in the pay-per-view directly after the show after a pay-per-view. So this is a really, really tidy setup, I think. But yeah, that brings us into our main event of the night, which was the WWE Championship celebration.
Yeah, so they opened the show with Drew McIntyre coming out, after successfully winning his Bambalance match against Randy Orton.
Yep.
He's met by The Big Show, Shawn Michaels, Christian, and Ric Flair in participation, who all 4 of them played a role in the Bambalance match the night before. So they're
sure
sort of to
did.
share the celebration. They're sort of, being put over by Drew, and Drew puts them over a little bit as well for some reason.
Yeah. The best part of it was when Shawn Michaels was like, look, we hope you don't mind that we interfered last night, but we got together after everything happened, and we thought it'd be a good idea to, get our own back. But at the same time, like, if you have a problem with what we did, it was totally the Nature Boy's idea, so blame him.
What's he going to do? Fight Ric Flair?
Yeah, exactly. But no, seeing like how they did interfere throughout that match and sort of get their own back against Randy was freaking awesome. But yeah, as this is all going on, Randy Orton does come on the Titantron, and he's like, Drew's like, what are you going to do? Like, beg for another rematch? And he's like, I don't need to beg. It'll be given to me because I get what I want when I want. And this isn't over until I say it.
And I will mention that in that promo, he said the words, hell. And we know the next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell. I think we may see the third and final match with Randy and Drew. Hell in a Cell.
I'm okay with it.
Well, because all I know is that means that if Randy wins it, because I was positive he was going to win at Clash, and that moves towards Keith Lee being the champion, every step is worth it.
No, but Randy's like, when you cross the there's a price to be paid when you cross the Legend Killer. And then we just see snippets back and forth of like the four legends playing poker backstage. Street Profits join them at one point. Of course they do. And then we see Dolph Ziggler talking to Adam Pearce backstage. And Pearce is just like, because Drew issues an open challenge. He wants to defend his title tonight to anybody who hasn't had a title shot. And Dolph is like, Adam, can we talk? And Adam's like, you've had a shot. And he goes, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not talking about me. I have the perfect guy in mind. And they go off and talk privately. And then Drew McIntyre comes out to the ring and is like, so who is it? And nobody answers his call. And he's like, he's like, fine, I guess I'll just stand here and chat for 10 minutes. And then Dolph's music hits. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I said somebody who hasn't had a chance. And he goes, don't worry, it's not me. I've got something even better. Just wait for it. And he like points to the stage, and then glorious. And I was like, no way. We haven't seen Robert Roode in ages.
Yeah, he did. I think he got injured, so he was sort of off for a while.
Yeah, I popped pretty hard when his music hit. I was like, glorious. And I was like in the shower this morning because I watched it quite early this morning. Like in the shower, I'm like watching my hair and I'm like, I will defend. Victor. Just like, it's one of those songs that just, it's a brainworm. But my God, was this a killer match.
That was awesome.
Especially because obviously Drew was pretty worn out from the night before, so you could tell he was affecting him. And, Robert Roode had the right idea of taking out one of his legs to try and take out the Claymore kick from his arsenal, especially the main leg that he launches off.
And on top of that as well, to add to what I said before, the both previous NXT men's champions. There's a lot of skill here, a lot of cut above talents.
Yeah, definitely. So it ended up being a killer match, but Drew McIntyre ultimately does get the win off the Claymore kick. And then we see Randy, a cut to backstage and somebody's pushing a trolley and a cleaning trolley, and it's revealed that it's Randy Orton, and he walks up to the Legends locker room, celebration room, whatever, and he puts on a pair of
welding goggles.
Yeah, I saw Dash tweet about that. Dash tweeted about him being welding goggles.
Because I looked at him like, they ain't fucking night vision goggles, you morons.
Yeah, they're supposed to simulate night vision goggles, and he's got a chair in hand, and he walks into the Legends room, and everybody looks up like, what the hell? And he switches the light off, and he hears bang, crash, bang, 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 crash, crash, bang, crash, ting, 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 ting. And then the light comes back on. Did you just list off
another bunch of Retribution characters?
Yeah, yes, I did. Bang, crash, and ting, ting. Light comes back on. Everything back there is trashed. And Randy just sort of leaves and he covers himself up again. He walks over to his cleaning trolley and he just sort of points at the door, and all these officials start running in, and he just walks off with this little trolley. And now his promo earlier in the night, we were under the impression he left because he grabbed his suitcase and walked away. But that wasn't the case.
No, it was not.
So he's just obviously adding fuel to that fire that's already there. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so this is that weird space, isn't it? Like, once again, it's just Randdaddy beating up on old people that go and fight back.
Yeah.
I said, but I also it's this weird thing. Like for him, it's because you could look at it in two ways. It's like, well, how does this help his championship contending? It doesn't. This is revenge. This is pure fucking revenge. That's how you say it. Like, this is, it's either goal motivated or personal motivated. He is personally motivated here. So you all fucking slighted me. I'm back. I'm gonna beat all your faces in with a chair.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think? Because you're obviously the big Randdaddy fan out of the two of us.
This is next level. That I've not seen Randy do anything like this, I don't believe. So this is something next level. It definitely is a really personal vendetta he's got there. And I don't think it's like title shot motivated either. I think now it is just like a revenge thing. I don't think he cares about the belt. He just wants to put the hurt down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch, especially coming into Hell in a Cell. Obviously, we're going to get that then. And I reckon that's going to be a hell of a match for sure.
I think, because I said, I think the two big Hell in a Cell matches for the pay-per-view will be Sasha versus Bayley and Randy versus Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely agree. And they will be two.
And I am 100% okay with it. Because I'm
a little bit moist about it.
Yeah, as long as they don't bathe it all in red light again, and then we don't want to feel ill. That would be ideal. God, the tattoo's so fucking itchy.
Very.
The hair growing back on the tattoo, Jem. It's the worst.
Don't rub that. Get cream. Rub your cream in gently.
Oh no, I've been creaming it like hard. No, not hard, but like twice a day or whatever.
Because if you do that, you'll pull the ink out.
Well, that's why I'm not using my fingers for that. I'm scratching. I'm just like rubbing on it.
Tap it.
Oh.
You don't look like a drug addict at all.
Not even a little bit. Yeah.
Just remember, you will notice over time they'll raise and lower. That's totally normal.
All right. Yeah, beautiful.
Round of applause.
So what do you think, Jem, as we wrap up the episode of Raw? Because SmackDown happened prior to Clash. No reason to talk about it this week. What did you think about Raw?
Honestly, it was really tidy and there was some really fun stuff going on there, and I'm feeling pretty generous, so I'd probably give it... Oh, look, I'd probably go curtain a bar.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like, it's just shy of a full 2 curts. I think, the 24/7 championship bit ruined it, and the Hurt Business... It's a hurting. Yeah,
I'm on the same page with you then. Yeah, curtain a bar, with the idea being 24/7 championship and the Hurt Business just a little bit stale, but everything else felt really good. I think it seems to be heading in a goodish direction. Not too bad at all.
Yeah, right up.
Easy done. It's getting exciting now. I can't believe we are so close to the end of the year. As I'm holding out hope for. I'm very looking forward to Survivor Series. I don't know. I don't know why, but like that seems to be my next. I'm like, Survivor Series.
Oh, because it's always good.
Yeah, it's always good. That's certainly
especially after last year, like having the addition of NXT. Like you just know that this year's going to blow it out the water.
Yeah, so I said the one thing I did hear, though, that it's looking to be WWE versus Retribution. But with them being out for 2 weeks, I think that might slow down that storyline. So, hey.
Yeah. Good.
That does bring us to the end of the show. This has been our Raw in Review, and it does come at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to Facebook, our Facebook group at facebook.com/group/thepopculture, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. Links are in the down below area. You can chat to us personally on our Twitter account, Bam and Bam. You can come chat to us. We have a good bit of time there on the Twitters. Talking about all the things. If you want to support the show, you can. You can tell you. Oh, wait, sorry. I missed a step. If you want to, you can watch us record the show live. Twitch.tv/thepopculturist. damn good time over there when we go live.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course, you can support the show, tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. If you listen to us on podcast services like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. Or if it's on the YouTubes, like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment below. I respond to every single comment. If you want to support financially, you can. Patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. And I still believe that there is a 35% discount on at the moment. So the question is, have you considered buying PopC merch? No, I didn't think so. But it's cheaper now. Give it a bill.
Here comes the money.
But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jem.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.
Yeah, you're too sweet at the end there. The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Cultures WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopcultures. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.